Hello friends, how are you? I'm a little late today. I went out for dinner with my sister. Okay, let me get everything set up.
Over here. Yeah, this could give them a bit of an opportunity, bit of an angle to play through FX, though I like the send that they're giving.
Okay, who are we cheering for today?
As well. Just needs that extra little bit of line of sight here. You can already hear the Raptor scouts going out, looking to see if there's anything.
I think we're cheering for your Muo today.
Nothing of value.
Evil geniuses.
All they gotta do though is decide
I don't think I know anyone else.
Forward, or kind of just stay where they find themselves currently.
Hello Hazy, hi Cyro. How are you in? Hi Winnie.
Left on the clock until that second airdrop.
Hello Fabi, how are you? You're cheering for me? What do you mean like you're silly?
So they get their first point on the board. Ooh.
Yeah, in a really good spot with that. We're going to get some intel at the top. They spot all three.
I forgot to pin my funny message.
A ton of utility landing on the FX, now running away. Evil Genius is potentially trying to hunt down their prey, but we do know that D-Wolves, well, they can run quite quick. So FX are out of here. And I think Evil Geniuses are thinking this is not worth our time to try to chase them. We can either cut them off where we think they're going to be rotating to, or go play for a different engagement. We'll see.
Yeah, this is where a lot of that strategy is going to come through. Fortunately, though, for the team over on the west-hand side, they are called the Evil Geniuses. And there's good reason for that. We've seen that being pretty evident.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome, welcome.
Time being up in the north, it is going to be Leviathan and, of course, MW still in a very familiar position. No one really moving all too much. Both teams trying to find a bit of an opening. And what we've seen happen time and time again is if these teams extend the fights a little bit too long, they
WKF. It's Smoke Eye's favorite team.
Rapid, but is he going to be able to follow through and get the hits?
Yeah, really wide angle there from MW to find Socio Legend first. That is the best case scenario, taking down their top Slayer immediately. Now in a 2v3, Leviathan trying to figure out, can we even stick this red since he's still on red? And take down the drone. But now that they've spotted where the body is, they're going to full chow this. They want to at least clean it up to secure the kill and make sure that the res isn't very easy. Maybe baiting out the res, being able to crawl around the corner. Eclipse is going to try to line him up and knock him down. Socio Legend does get cleaned up, and Eclipse is just a hair too far away. Not wanting to ego chow this, even with a pretty solid position. So a full 2v3. MW, this is a fight they should certainly win. It's just a matter of when do they decide to push it. Decent amount of util landing. No, gonna wait.
Interesting choice, though. I mean, it all comes down to timing, and it seems like
They had that. They had that. Util. Leviathan definitely could have pushed that. Like if the back guy at the end of admin pushed up after the Tempest ult, not Tempest, the Toxic ult, then it probably could have double swung. That would have been really good, I think. Because like now you don't have ults. And now you can't grab the body. Like even if you pushed up just to grab the body, it would have been worth it.
Super committed to that play.
Quick grab of the loot off the bodies in the meantime.
Like Leviathan should have committed there.
Phase in the bottom right-hand corner, but Articuno is actually finding an angle on FX. That's what I
thought was going to happen. Evil
Geniuses were maybe trying to cut off the rotation of FX. And they've found one. So FX down to a duo, and that is an shot wasted. There's only 5. Maybe not a waste if you're knocking somebody, but there's only 5 shots that you're given. Very valuable shots. So they need to make sure they get that cleanup off screen while we continue to watch this fight on screen. And we do see that that second airdrop has landed in the bottom right-hand corner that nobody's playing for yet.
Ooh, I like the usage of the utility here, right? Even though these teams aren't exactly in line of sight of each other, they can still manage to do quite a bit of a deterring play here, making the opposing side really kind of try and figure out what the angle is. It does seem like Eclipse might consider potentially maybe wrapping around to the main office on the opposing side, but it doesn't seem like he's fully committed to that angle just yet. Instead, tries to buy himself a little bit of time, trying to create that window. But with all the utility coming through from the side here of MW, Leviathan might be running out of time.
Here comes the push. MW feeling like they've got a nice advantage, which they certainly do. Player advantage means they can full send and play for trades. Leviathan feel the pressure, and they back out pretty aggressively. One goes out the window over the lift, the other indoors. Able to re-meet back up. Doing a good job staying alive and just stalling this fight out. Leviathan's play right now is just hope that the other team makes a mistake. So far, MW playing pretty clean. Find their way to 1.7 mil as of current EG, the only team above them, only because the
okay, good pick.
WKF, Crab, has found an angle on Tomiozo. Now, FX, yes, they got knocked by the from a while ago. They got that res, so that shot was fairly worthless. But now it's WKF that are looking for a bit of blood. FX have been in a blender this entire game, just every 2 seconds finding it themselves against a different team and losing a player down to red. Nobody's got a yellow yet. Nobody's been fooled for FX, but this is going to be a tough res to grab unless Tomiozo can somehow crawl all the way around the corner. No chance. Going to go to yellow. Now we're in trouble, as off screen does look like FaZe have found an angle on Widows, as they seem to be third-partying outside of admin. Here's a look at him, DK. It's actually not even really a third party. It was Leviathan trying to rotate out. And that's one way to clean it up. Spray and pray through the smoke, find him. But Leviathan tried to rotate out of admin last we left off with him, and now we got another fight on our hands. WKF getting really aggressive on FX because they have the advantage. Crab has 2. Crab, top slayer for this roster when they got their win only a couple days ago.
Yeah, I mean, they've already set up quite a bit of that foundational play here, so looking to see if they could maybe find the opportunity or the angle to capitalize on that right here today. We still see quite a bit of a pressure angle being held down on that far southern side, as it is going to be EG now looking to move in and get involved. Of course, they've moved all the way from cement plant, come across the way. They did get that knock coming in their direction, so that is going to be just putting a slight bit of a halt to their initial aggression. But Marino, in the meantime, is going to be finding a few more of those reds. But up comes the push. The anger is there. The aggression. Can Articuno, though, survive the play? Crab just getting absolutely mowed down, but it gets the hit in.
No way. How'd you run on a bubble?
Wild trade, but it is Evil Geniuses that come out.
Okay, thank goodness. There you go. We got Evil Geniuses.
No, there was
Let's go.
They perfectly were able to trade it. Loco is full health. So is Muamuo. So overall, great job from Evil Geniuses. Clean up a full fight. WKF, the first team to hit the lobby screen. And Evil Geniuses still have probably 3 shots, I would say.
Don't say let's go. You're their biggest fab. I'll let you.
That they are finding some value with. Again,
no, you're their biggest fab. You should be sub.
Compared to Mandelbricks, but it's also 2.4 million. Each shot is 100K. That's a solid trade.
I haven't said good morning to everyone in the past few days.
Up comes Loco.
Gonna do that right now.
Find the ridge, a lot of jumping. Oh, not even getting hit by a single shot.
Give everyone a kitty today.
As Marino is going to try everything in his bag of tricks to try and make it through this one. But it is going to be a pretty tough push going up against the full 3-piece here from Evil Geniuses, as they've been able to really climb their way back up. Marino might have his timer about to go on a bit of cooldown here, as you can see utility starting to run in. Oh, again, an absolutely insane molly being deployed. Unfortunately for EG, didn't do enough to Marino to take him out. But this does open up the angles now for Loco and the rest here of EG to come full send. And here they come, sending it up and going full metal, absolutely clapping it up.
Yeah, big kill there. That's going to be Evil Genius' 4th. They had gotten that knock on one of the members of FX earlier, but not gotten the cleanup. They had picked up the res and then lost in an engagement to WKF. So here's a look back on that replay, and Articuno's shot was unreal there, snapping across, getting one, getting Crab extremely
yes,
weak.
Locked in.
And the teammates were able to just clean up the
in.
Here, so really well done, especially picking up that res on the backside of that engagement. That was sick. That was a nasty snap from Articuno. But another engagement here as Articuno lands another shot. The finding so much value. as we swing into a big fight versus FaZe, who are in deep trouble because look who's joined the party.
This guy just grinded another person.
FaZe in a blender with a full team of 3 ahead of them, and then the solo. And I would even venture to say, you see 2/3 of Evil Geniuses went down. Eclipse saved the day for EG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, they owe a lot to what Eclipse just brought in here. Oh, but Eclipse getting eclipsed by the jump.
Eclipse should have won that. That was such a greedy jump.
Have the opportunity to bring themselves back up to a 3-piece. Now, while the fights were happening, of course, we did see one team getting the opportunity to get themselves extracted. That was, of course, MW there, making it out with 2.1 mil in the bag. But we still have 2 teams here left to duke it out. It is going to be the Evil Geniuses up against the solo coming through from FaZe.
Evil Genius is having a banger map, and they're going to actually go ahead and grab this second airdrop that's been out here for a while. They feel like they know that FaZe took quite a bit of beatings in that engagement as well. Heard some shots from another team here, and they're just going to want to back up. They've already found a ton of value on the map. Loot up here, potentially leave. You could go bagless, you could go weight restricted. There's a couple different options for them. No elevator this time around, and Sudoka probably just needs to stay on the map and play for a kill here. If he can just steal 1 kill away, it'd be good for his overall team, but maybe he could stack up the safe box with teammates' gear. I don't know what the most valuable play would be, but I'd be probably trying to sneak a kill.
You're going to have to, right? I mean, that's pretty much a reliable source of points that you have at this stage. As you've said, there's not going to be an opportunity for that extraction to come through as we are very, very low on time. But looking at EG, they might try and get somebody out through that far southern extract, right? The paid extract.
Yep.
Let's see if anything is going to happen there. And it does seem like Articuno might be the one to go for it. Of course, we know he's got the AWAM in his pocket, so... yeah, unfortunately, it's not a pocket AWAM, though, right? We do have a few of those in game, but it's not being used right here. Loco, though, testing out the waters, trying to put up a good defensive angle, and we might even see Sudoka being able to bring at least one of his teammates back into the fight.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have time for the fight. So Articuno's going to try to get some intel over the top with Raptor before he leaves the map. And we'll see at least the boxes as Momo and Loco go flying forward to try to go get a couple extra kills. But Articuno leaving is a good thing. Yes, protecting the that he has in pocket, but also I want to say he only has 1 shot left, if any. So nice find from Sudoka. This is what I'm talking about. Was able to have time for, yes, the fight and also the res. And maybe a little too aggressive from our Evil Geniuses as Muo goes down and FaZe find themselves another point.
Well, let's see whether or not Loco can maybe still get an additional few points on the board, as it is going to be a pretty tough play, though. Ooh,
nice.
Gets the one, gets the takedown.
No.
And the clock is
He couldn't finish. No, he ran out of ammo.
To get the full, yes,
done.
nice, but it does nothing for your point.
The team like we won yesterday? No, SSG won yesterday.
Ran out of ammo and
Space Station Gaming.
to get the finish. Bummer there for Evil Geniuses, but a nice little finish there from FaZe. Still, EG, definitely the biggest winners on the map. You saw MW get a full extraction, which is nice. They protect.
You want to ask me what my favorite knife is? It's probably the one I'm using. It's like the void-looking one, the purple one.
WKF that had a decent team fight and then got wiped by this roster right here. They pick up 6 kills, 6 kill points, 4.8 mil in total from the kills.
And they got the That's very good.
This is a banger game for Evil Geniuses, coming out on top very quickly early in this match.
Yeah, I mean, especially walking away with those 6 kills, that is going to boast quite well for them. FaZe, of course, also picking up 3. WKey picking up some points as well as MW full extraction. So that is going to be putting at least 2 points on the board for them, right? One thanks to the value, the other one thanks to the kill coming through from Loud. So things are looking pretty decent with the start to the action. But of course, taking a look at the bigger scheme of things, our top killer is going to be none other than Loco, the player that Gilzal said is the only one that he is weary of. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what Loco is going to be bringing in, and maybe Loco could look to spice things up a little bit. Of course, Loco sitting right at the top of the board here for the top damage dealers, followed in very then by Crab as well as Mr. Diogod.
Yeah, I mean, Loco's been one of the top performers anytime he finds himself on the map. He has multiple 1v multiple situations, but Mumu is also one of the straightest shooters in the game and can be feared by many as well. So be interesting to see what Evil Geniuses are going to be able to do if they can keep up this momentum going into a Mana Brick round. Are they going to play as aggressive as they did this time, or are they going to kind of let the fights come to them and play for the brick? Articuno does pick up the most assets, likely on the back of the as well as being able to extract, but MW still found a decent bit of value. Pildora 1.3 in total. Reminder, all 3 members of MW technically got out of the map, but Loco finds themselves as our round 1 MVP. 3 kills, 2 assists, 500,000 assets in the safe box, and of course solid damage. So great job there from Evil Geniuses and Loco to kick things off with a bang here in Zero Dam. Not as slow as some of the other maps. I like it. We're starting out pretty aggressive for some of our rosters.
Yeah, and that's exactly what these teams need to bring in. You pointed out they're sitting in that middle board, so the only way to get out of that is to go out and get heavy with the points. But of course, that was only the first round. There's still quite a few more to go, and as you saw right down there below as well, be sure to go and follow us on all the social medias if you've not done so. And if you've also not yet downloaded the game, do it. It's free, right? It's available everywhere. Go have some fun, get addicted to it like we see our players here, and yeah, a lot to look forward to.
That's exactly right. That was game 1. Going to game 2 next. Going to be our first Metal Brick round. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, will it be Evil Geniuses on top after game 2? Wait and see.
Look at that! It's an absolute sweat!
Which black site department is used to craft weapon attachments? There's a name for it? They're not called cyber like workbench? I have no idea. That's like such like a useless question. I could tell you it's the top left one. My favorite gun in season 10? I've been liking with CI-19 this season. No. WKF is an amazing team. It's Small Kai's favorite team. Every time he sees it, Small Kai's like, wow, I love this team so much.
What goes around, comes around.
Thank you very much. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
Welcome back. Delta Force Rise Series Day 3, Week 2. America's region. Groups B and C started off with Evil Geniuses at the top after our Zero Dam map. 10 total squad points, 5 kill points, 5 supply points. FaZe Clan not too far behind them. It's a total of 6. Then everybody else kind of falls in line after that. Starting out with double digits to kick things off in round 1. Evil Geniuses got to be feeling good here, DK.
Yep, they're sitting quite pretty there with the double digits next to the name. But of course, as we know, it's all going to boil down to whether or not they can keep that consistency going. That is going to be the key factor that I will at least be keeping my eyes on here today, because we know they are in some pretty tough company here, and it's not going to be an easy feat, especially stepping out onto round number 2, which is going to be taking us straight over onto Brackish. And this is where things get interesting, because we've seen some round 2s where the battle brick is there every time, but it never gets decoded, and other times where it gets decoded every single opportunity. But of course, the airdrops get left behind. So let's see who can get their hands on it, and we might see an interesting choice yet again coming through with the operator picks.
Yeah, when we talk about Brackish, you can see that every operator is still available. Nobody elected to double down on a single operator. Want to keep their options open. And when we move into Brackish, sometimes you will see a team go ahead and say, hey, we really want to try to get this mana break first. We may throw a Tempest in. It doesn't happen very often. These are the operators you usually see. You're seeing a lot of Allures.
I don't think you should be burning your Tempest so early.
Basically, you're looking for operators that can zone off an area. Namely, because take a look at the map. That Royal Museum, dead center of the map, that's where you're going to see a majority of our action. That's where the mana brick spawns. It's also where the most popular decoding station is, within maybe like 80 meters from the spawn, maybe actually less than that. It is just inside. That's the one that a lot of teams like to go for if they can. These T1 spawns, tier 1 spawns, are going to be very valuable on this map because of how close to the spawn they are, yes, of the mana brick, but also how close they are to the decoding station that a lot of people like. So watch out for what could be everybody besides MW or Leviathan on those T1 spawns. And so the big question remains, as always, is if you spawn in the new Tower of Babel, are you playing for loot and showing up to the function late, or are you going straight at Museum, coming in from the south, trying to catch some teams by surprise with how fast you're moving across the map? Those are the fun quandaries I have moving to Brackish. But like DK said, there's a lot going on this map. We got mana bricks. We got airdrops as well now. We got the boss flying around in a helicopter that you can shoot and try to get some lucky wooden sculptures to get your goals faster. There's a lot going on, DK.
I mean, we've even seen players being taken out by bosses, right? And that's always a nice little bit of a twist coming through as well. But yeah, it's all going to be down to what they are going to be bringing in onto this Brackish, and we'll find out soon who will be getting their hands on those T1 spawns, right? Is there going to be a relentless engagement coming through on the Royal Museum for possession of that mana brick and the decoding, or could we maybe see the teams take the action somewhere else? Of course, only time will tell, but we don't have to wait that much longer as we are getting ready to hop straight into the action.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and as we're loading into round 2, I do want to remind you that you got to keep your typing fingers ready, all right?
Hello, Panda. How are you? One is tied, the one after this one.
Second, watch your screen. It's going to pop up in 3, 2.
It always goes 0 down,
Boom,
and then
type it in right now to unlock the SR3M Combat Ready skin. It's on your screen.
Hang on.
Type in that code verbatim, all right? I'm talking caps and everything. Redeem in-game or on the official website. It's the first 25 people to redeem it across all of our live streaming platforms. So you got to be real fast, and we got more coming your way a little bit later. But it's time for Brackish, and it's time for our first mana brick round. Let's see who gets it first.
Yeah, it's a 1v thousands of people watching this, so there is some pretty slim pickings, and it really boils down to fastest fingers first. And speaking about fingers being fast, we do see some people running real fast, right? As they are going to be looking to get themselves into position. It does seem like we've got FX and W Key Forever getting themselves into those T1 spawns. So an interesting start for them. But of course, as you can already hear, Anthe, ooh, we got our first takedown.
I copy-pasted the code,
Alrighty.
and I didn't get it, so I think it's low-key a scam. I was talking away.
What happened there? It didn't even show that somebody else got the kills. That's crazy. FX are in a blender right now. W Key Forever are W Keying at their opponents, and FX are down to a solo, and he's on 1 HP and a drink. They're gone.
Yep.
Blink and you missed it, folks. The game clock is 18 minutes, and we barely got into the 16s. That was 1 minute and 10 seconds, and FX is off the map.
Small Kai, your team is winning.
What would have been a very
Hey, you see
nice
that?
position for both FX and W Key Forever.
Yeah,
now
your
it's
favorite team just
WKF
killed a
in
squad.
Mid-Map Museum playing for Brick. Now you do see MW aggressively rotating this direction. FaZe aggressively rotating this direction. Nobody giving away bricks for free in this
Your
lobby, at
favorite
least,
team.
as opposed to what we saw yesterday. So let's see the action.
I think FX need to make a ticket with housekeeping, because I don't think those floors were properly dried.
You
by
like the
time that
Tempest
they
skin?
got
Yeah,
them
it's
right.
nice. It's very
Mopping
high
just
noon.
happened. We did see quite a bit of slipping and sliding coming through. But hey, you know what? WK Forever, they're going to be quite happy about that, as it does open up the opportunities for even more teams now to come and explore. As you can see, FaZe pushing up from the side. Meanwhile, MW and Leviathan finding themselves at the decoding station. It's not even been picked up yet, and both these squads are getting ready for what could be coming.
This angle that Pildora is holding, not sure if I missed it. This angle he was holding doesn't really denote to me that he knows exactly where Leviathan is. Does seem to have a read that potentially Evil Geniuses could be behind them, or at least a team is behind them. They're just kind of just roaming around. I don't think they know Leviathan is there. I mean, they were just inside, and the way he was centering, he was on the back wall, not the close one. So I have a feeling there's going to be a breakout fight, and there it goes. Widows is finding it off screen, while on screen, WKF is going for the brick. Here's the fight. Leviathan, they lose 1, but MW lose 2. A big engagement at the behest of a couple different rosters, but Leviathan coming out currently in the lead in player advantage, and now they're going to try to chase down Rapids and clean up another team. One roster full wiped, another in trouble. So Rapids goes hightailing back to Museum. And WK Forever says, sounds good to me. You guys are fighting off brick. We're going to grab it. We're going to plant it in Museum. We've already got power position. Come and get it.
Yeah, I mean, Rapids ran all the way up to the hotel, right? So he really legged it, making sure to get the heck out of Dodge. But especially now with the Museum decode coming through here, this opens up the angle for, I would even say, the Evil Geniuses maybe to come and creep their way on forward, because WK Forever all the way up onto the north, and in case you missed it, yeah, that is how Marino got taken on out. He got shot first.
Yeah, he just got put to 1 HP.
Hey, that's crazy.
He was kind of jumping, so I don't blame him too much. But breaking your legs there is interesting, because it actually doesn't yield
Did you see that?
kill in this game.
What?
So you saw it come through that he died to fall
That
damage,
was
and
too
therefore nobody
funny.
got that kill point in that WKF fight. So I think they only had 2 kill
Died
points. I'll
to
get a
fall
100%
damage.
confirmation of that here in a little bit if we check out their feeds. But for now,
What?
what Leviathan's been able to do in the position that they have on the map. They're scouting around,
Died
seeing
to
if this
fall
MW player
damage.
actually truly
I'm
activated.
done.
He's still in the area? No, he's gone. Okay. So now what? What's the play? IGL making the call right now.
Hello,
Maybe
where
they'll go for
are
brick.
you?
I hope that's what they're saying, as we see Evil Geniuses doing just that.
Yep, it does seem like that is exactly what Leviathan is going to be doing, as they are hightailing it back over towards Museum. Meanwhile, Rapid made it all the way up to that far northern position, almost at the extraction. But now it's going to be the point where things really start to heat up. Of course, Peiki experiencing that firsthand, as he has been caught out in the molly here. But the pressure is going to be on. Right, Evil Genius is moving in. We've got Leviathan moving up. FaZe getting caught out there at the market, trying to figure out what is going to be the angle for them to try and maybe squeeze it. We're here as there's only one place to really focus all your efforts on. That's right here in Museum.
2 minutes elapsed. 2 minutes on the clock right now for the first decode. The next steal puts us at 3.5. Plenty of game clock to play, so don't worry about that. Just worry about the brick. Evil Genius is down low, going to go up the stairs, feeling like they have a little bit more presence or space than they maybe thought they did. WK Forever is hiding, and now's the angle. Maybe not as much space as they let on. WK Forever find a nice angle, or at least it looked like it. They lose one. Articuno finding Crab. Crab going down, their top slayer. WK Forever in a bit of a blender right now as Evil Geniuses are putting the pressure on. Utility, holding angles. Peek and you die is what they're trying to tell WK Forever as they slowly push their way forward towards the brick. Gonna make sure this one's not free.
Well, Articuno with a strong position there is going to look to be in a position we can really lock that one down. Loco trying to come in with a cheeky steal here. Gets it off the edge. Gets spotted out, and now it's going to be WK Forever trying to figure out what the heck just happened. They did see the player, but it was a little bit too late. Leviathan also going to be gaining entry up into Museum, and this is where the pressure is going to be on, right? WKF could really look to turn on the aggression, as there is an opportunity to catch EG in a bit of a pincer here.
I think Evil Geniuses are making the right play. They need a full sin WK Forever to get this outside position. If they stayed inside there, they could get shot in the back so easily. They didn't know exactly where Leviathan was at, but they knew they were close. And now Leviathan's very close. Eclipse getting aggressive, trying to play for a true third-party fight, which I quite respect from these guys. They've been an aggressive team in the past in their other matches. This is what I was expecting to see from them in some of the first games, second games, etc. Loco immediately lining one up and knocking it down. Down goes C-Bots. Now we've got WKF down to a solo, while Leviathan, amidst the chaos, says we might as well steal the brick, give ourselves a small advantage, as Evil Genius is now taking the fire of two different teams, with Pecky, namely, trying to keep them at bay so he can stay alive for his team.
Yep, it's going to be quite important here for Becky to try and survive, but unfortunately, yeah, it wasn't in the cards. Down he goes, and out is WKF. I think that was a self-nade, yeah.
Yeah, that rocket did not quite get past the pillar. WKF, not quite as dominant as they were in the last match earlier this weekend, but they've got plenty of time to rally. Two teams full white,
Team Rocket
4 teams left, but MW down to a solo.
When they got president. Oh, we can't third party. Gosh darn, I'm gonna hit myself with a rocket so they can't get points. Ah, it's too funny.
Always a bang out. A lot of trades back and forth, while MW, in the meantime, have found their way over. Rapids finding Lapua. Rapids finding the airdrop.
Wait a minute.
While everybody else is fighting. I mean, hey, listen, when you're a solo,
Evil Geniuses is the team to choose.
And he's finding the crazy loot.
Yeah, that is going to help them and definitely make them feel a lot more confident moving into those later few stages. But of course, the most important thing is you got to survive, right? You got to have to make it out in one piece to have that actually count for anything at this point. But for now, though, back into Museum is where Leviathan are going to be moving, right? They do currently still have possession of the brick. They are sitting with a decent chunk of change in their pockets, but they're going to have to contest against the aggression coming through here from the Evil Geniuses as they want to try and regain quite a bit of that territory. They have easy possession up onto the decoding station, but it's going to be up to what Leviathan will be bringing forward here. They still have that full 3-piece up, so quite a bit of defensive plays could still be made by them.
Articuno gonna invest the drone, try to get some intel on the rotations of some of the teams. Finds one member of Leviathan. Didn't see more than that.
This is too funny. The sweet vengeance. Child off from the disappointment of last time.
Yes, now definitely know it. Gizmo giving us some extra info, zoning them off as Evil Geniuses say, hey, stay over there, catch this net, we're going to steal the brick back. And it looks like Mua may even just stick around the decoding station, be able to play for their fight. But here's another angle, Socio Legend, Leviathan finding FaZe in the crosshairs, folks. We've got a 3-team battle. And so far, everybody's shooting each other, but nobody's falling.
Yep, a lot of trading happening across the way. Let's see whether or not Elsnows can get anything done. Seems to be pretty well set up for the altercation here, but it is going to be FaZe coming through with that very southern positioning, right? Coming up the staircase, it could maybe help them push in and apply a little bit of that pressure, but looking at how the angles are currently just locked down here by both the Evil Geniuses and Leviathan, it's not going to be an easy entry for them to make. And Articuno, of course, is going to be scanning the area, making sure that he disrupts every possible bit of contention.
Yeah, nice pickup yet again with the drone. Very valuable in Brackish as well. Just finding intel, being able to call out to your team, hey, one's near the brick, one's going for the push. And Leviathan was maybe going to go for the steal there with the drone right on his back. Touching quite a bit of flak. He wasn't able to go for it. Evil Genius is still in control. 80 seconds on the clock. Plenty of game time. Leviathan looking for an angle. Been playing around this backside position for a while now. Well, MW solo just loots off screen. The fight has to stay here. There's nowhere else to go. 60 seconds. Socio Legend doing a lot of the same. Using that drone to get intel. Double checking. Are Evil Geniuses all together? Is somebody split? Flies over one, sees the other two. Okay. Got the intel there. What about FaZe? We saw them a little bit on the low side. Underneath. What if we swing on Evil Geniuses? What if we try to make an aggressive play rather than wait on them to make a mistake? They're in the power position. 40 seconds. No Tempest on the map. You're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Smoke and run.
Well, here they come. Looking to get the momentum built up. FaZe really close to that decoding station. It's all going to boil down to whether or not EG can lock this one in. Just a few seconds remain on the clock here. But FaZe seem committed to contest as they are just trying to get closer and closer
You better
Of
go.
course, EG, they could miss the opportunity here as Eclipse steps up, but he gets netted. That might not be enough to stop him, though.
That's a great net from Gizmo. So valuable in this position. Evil Genius is able to hold it on the back of Gizmo. No, Leviathan still get it. Just over the top. Widows is able to find Diogod, and Socio goes down to Loco. But just over the top, the same play Evil Genius has made about 6 or 7 minutes ago. Leviathan able to answer back and restart this steal. It's a 2-minute clock, so one more steal puts us to our minimum timer. It'll be 90 on out every time the brick is stolen. The good news for Evil Geniuses is that FaZe is down to a duo, and so is Leviathan. And the third that is down for Leviathan's out with Muo. It's out with Evil Geniuses. They have the body with them. So Leviathan's not going to get their third up unless they wipe Evil Geniuses.
Yep, so good strategic position going through here from them. And I mean, you got to say,
I think
they are in a really
it
strong
needs to
position. And I think
have.
the point that really
It
helps
needs to
them out
have.
here is the fact that
Like, like from a viewer perspective, you need to say the team is on, like a match point team is on the brick, because like it feels so anticlimactic when a team just doesn't go and talent for, you know?
Yeah, it was free. Leviathan elected to go low and try to flank on Evil Geniuses because they didn't think that they could play him kind of front to back on the other side of the top, second floor rather, of Museum. They're going to try to sneak up here, maybe land some util and push this fight. I don't know how much value they're going to get out of this necessarily. But they're going to smoke the body potentially and make a big play up the forklift, or scissor lift rather. Let's see. Toxic ult. It'll land, but util, I mean, they know he's here. I mean, I don't know if I love this play unless your teammate can help you out, and I think he's thinking better of it, or at least maybe trying to bait it out by playing ledge. 50 seconds on the clock. Evil Geniuses do have to watch the brick. They'll eventually turn their attention back to FaZe if FaZe make a push, and when they do, Eclipse is there to strike.
I think this is where Leviathan also need to watch out for what MW could be bringing in, right? Because sitting up on that ledge does open you up quite a bit. So Rapid could still have quite a bit of a say in what happens here today, as we do see him now starting to move up, looking at the map there. But in the meantime, it is going to be pretty focused attention here. Beautiful hit from Rapid, and that is exactly the play that I said Leviathan needs to be careful of, because Rapid is still in this round.
Oh my goodness. Rapid just hit a 2-piece. One on Leviathan, one on Evil Geniuses. And you called that perfectly. Saw him wrapping around. He had picked up the arm in the meantime. And he certainly
they got the brick. Let's go.
Amidst all the chaos, Leviathan thought they were going to make a heroic push through Evil Geniuses and pause by wiping them, but instead gets sniped in the back.
Let's go. W.
Take a couple kills to boot.
Evil Geniuses.
Great job, MW, getting anything from that map, but Evil Geniuses, top of the leaderboard after 1. Now certainly top of the leaderboard after 2.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of pacing come through from them before in one of the prior days of play, where they had a phenomenal run. But, of course, they were going up against the side of Space Station Gaming. Fortunately for them today, there is none of that happening. So this could be the start of something great here for the side of Evil Geniuses. Meanwhile, they still have to deal with FaZe and Leviathan as, well, the pressure has not gone away. It is still pretty evident as the teams are committed to following through with at least something here. And meanwhile, MW might now look to get Rapid actually out of this round.
Yeah, I mean, if Rapids can get out, he has done his job and then some. It's very difficult to play this game as a solo. El Snows, it's a full team of 3, is trying to play front man here and maybe grab a knock. Not feeling like he has an advantage in that fight. He's going to back off and rejoin his team, making sure they don't get flanked by this wrap that Evil Geniuses and Articuno are making. We still have Widows down below for Leviathan. But everybody's playing for kills right now. Their kits are still not insanely expensive. There's a quick look at Rapids giving us an 07. Salute. Get out of here, my friend. Well earned. The only player to extract today, most likely in Brackish. The rest of the players staying to fight. These kill points are everything. This is our tiebreaker if your mana bricks are tied. Because kill points and supply points added together as your total squad points. That's what the points are on the leaderboard. Super important. Team's going to stay for the fight.
And what a fight it will be, but it might be a very short one here for EG. As they are now down to Articuno. Oh, he's literally on 1 HP. He gets clapped, picked up, and out he goes. FaZe, though, managing to wrap that one up quick and fast, but it's not over till
Oh,
Widow
no.
says so.
That is a hilarious sequence. A great flank by FaZe. I want to say that was DioGod that made the flank around the outside, and Evil Geniuses just got stuck between that pinch that this team from FaZe actually put up. The problem with it was once DioGod went down, he'd already been to yellow timer, so he gets full. That's going to be another kill for Evil Geniuses. And Articuno almost pulls out the impossible. If he had a little bit more ammo in the tank, he could have pulled out a 1v3 there, or what it feels like a 1v3 as his teammates went down. But you're right, Leviathan stayed patient, picked up an extra kill. That was a lot of points between a couple different teams. Evil Geniuses get the brick, and that's the most important part.
But I think, especially looking at the play that Rapids made, coming through with that AWAM, just being an absolute menace from the outside, that is exactly the kind of position that I'm pretty convinced that Leviathan was not bargaining on. So big play coming through there from the side of MW, definitely finding quite a bit of value here. But as we know, there's only so much value that you can cram into your little bag, right? That 3x3. MW, though, they were able to get out with 1.9 mil, taking some value out, but not managing to get a point for the profits they were able to accrue in this round.
Yeah, this is a very interesting leaderboard we're going to see here in just a moment. Mr. GeoGod, looking great as always, is doing a great job of finding kills along the way. Nice flanks from him to pick up a couple extra kills for his team. FaZe having a decent rep that time around, but Evil Genius is the big winners. W Key forever, man. Ups and downs of that roster. Their first match, brutal. Second match, unreal. They go huge and win it all. Third match, which is today, they've really had nothing going for them. It's a really tough fight, but Evil Geniuses, like I said, another banger map from them. Disregard the assets gained because, yes, they all got wiped, but they get the Mandel Brick. You can see it there in the bottom right, and then 6 kill points is huge for their total. They already had 10 total squad points, so they're going to get 6 kill points here. That'll put them to 16. Plus, those are 800K apiece, folks. That's 4.8 mil. That's another 2 points in the supply point category. So a great job from Evil Geniuses to find the most points on the map and the Mandel Brick. They're well above the rest at this point.
Yep, that is going to bode exceptionally well for them here. But of course, looking at the points across the board, a lot of teams managing to bag those kills, right? W Key forever. We just see FaZe Clan as well as Leviathan all sitting with 3 apiece. And of course, it all boils down to this. Logo and Articuno helping carry their team forward here with coming in with kills apiece. Of course, Widows with a strong contribution there for Leviathan. Yep, I would say a very, very satisfying Brakesh that we've had, right? I mean, we've seen Brakesh go in a whole bunch of different directions, and I definitely like where this one went. As we now take a look over on the top damage dealers, and it's still very, very consistent.
Yeah, big shout to Widows again from Leviathan, finding those scrap kills at the very end, but also some really interesting team fights. I actually liked what Leviathan did at the end when they had a duo wrapping around the outside. They just got killed by the man, the myth, the legend from the MW Rapids with the So Crab still top assist for WKF, even though they had a tough engagement. Still found some decent damage and assists across the board, a couple kills, but it was Rapids finding his way to 2 million total assets because he was the only player to extract. His team got wiped. He bailed. He got the got 2 kills with it, and then left the lobby. Hey, man, I'll take it as a solo, but Articuno is going to be our match MVP. Picks up the brick, yes, with the team, but 3 kills, nearly 700 damage, and an assist. Certainly well earned from these guys. This is a very strong roster, and they've got a very strong start to their 3rd match overall in the group stages. Man, DK, that was a fun one. Like you said, listen, Brakesh goes a couple different ways. This one still stayed aggressive, which I really like to see.
Aggression is key at the end of the day, right? The team score points because they get the kills. We see Mandelbricks getting decoded and quite a bit of fighting happening around that. But unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing that in our next round, though.
Oh, we're not. We may see some fights. It's going to be sneaky fights, though. We're going to Tide Prison, all right? Let's see how aggressive these teams get. It'll be our next and last eco round. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to head to a very short break. When we come back, let's see who gets the next high-caliber weapon, or maybe the most kills.
W short break. Oh, yeah, I'm going to grab some more water, then.
got the Mandel bricks. Find and stop them. Mandel bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Down to there it is. Welcome back. Delta Force Rise Series Day 3, Week 2 here in Americas, and Groups B and C have been pretty aggressive to kick things off as we finish up. Brackish and Evil Geniuses find their way to the top of the leaderboard yet again with the first Mandel Brick. W Key Forever do pick up 5 total kill points from some of their engagements with FX off rip and a couple others to boot, but they do get wiped. They still find their way to 9 points, which isn't too bad in total. But DK, a 7-point lead is nice in the squad points category if it does come down to tiebreakers. But getting that first Mandel Brick is going to give Evil Geniuses a ton of confidence in the future rounds.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is great to have, but of course you got to keep your.
Damn, Mac. Did they do the next code?
We've seen different strategies being deployed by
I'm like, I have my snippy cool already. There's no way they're faster than
But as
me.
we saw there, right, it's gonna be first things first. We're heading into prison, and this is where we could see those double Nox loadouts making their way on forward.
Yeah, double Nox is a classic. We'll certainly see at least one Nox per team. You see that W Key Forever had already used the Nox on Zero Dam, but this is kind of the most popular comp, if you will. Shepard.
Burning Nox on Zero Dam is kind of crazy. Classic WKF.
Reasons. One, Morse is just
It's always Nox Morse combo.
Especially for teams that are trying to creep around the map. And then Nox, we all know, when his footsteps go silent, crazy things can happen. So that'll happen a ton. And then Shepard has a ton of value just in zoning off positions on the map. Tight Prison is one of those where everything is so small and so chaotic. There's verticality to it, and there's these tight corridors. It's a lot of CQB. That when you have engineers like Shepard holding down with Sonic Trap, ult, or whatever you need, it's going to be very difficult to actually take a push into a room with a team that has a Shepard. So keep that in mind as we take a look at our operator choices. There should be some other operators that pop up, but Tide Prison is our second eco round. And DK, what that means for our viewers is, yes, we talk about spawns and T1 spawns being the most valuable, but on Tide Prison, if you get the T1 spawn, it's kind of like a dang it, because that means you will not have the tier 1 spawn going into Space City. It's the only rule with our spawn, so nobody can fully predict who is where. You just can't be T1.
Do they just yap about the same thing every time? I guess it's for the new people, so it makes sense.
But it is go time as we are going to be getting ourselves into the whole situation here. It's going to be a lot of that looting and scooting before we can see a lot of the shooting going through. The teams now have the opportunity, that final opportunity to build up the economy. Once we get into Space City, that is where it all then comes to play. But for now, yeah, it is going to be go, go, go. I want to see one thing though. Evil Geniuses may be staying away from zip lines.
Zip lines can be deadly if you're not paying attention. That's definitely the case. Let's get into round 3, folks. Now, a couple things about Tide Prison. Yes, it may play very slow. Yes, the rats will be in. No question about that. There's also a couple different mechanics here with Tide Prison. The first being that the way you get the or the M82, it is random, is by paying attention of that GTI supply mission, okay? So you see that mission, it's down bottom center of the map near Warden's office. That GTI supply mission will pop and be available
he's using the thermal.
4.5 minutes. If you do that mission, that's how you're granted the high caliber weapons. So watch out for that. There is still a second airdrop that has some decent loot, but in terms of the RNG we're finding in those these days, not worth a crazy amount. What is worth a crazy amount? Marino, 1.5 mil, finding it finally here on Tide Prison.
I mean, that is a phenomenal find to see come
Buoyancy.
through. Already, we've seen now 4 reds being picked up right in the first few moments of this round. So, absolutely love where this
Crazy.
is going, and see
Hypenda.
whether or not Tamiozo is going to be surprising us with a few additional reds here. Ooh, there we go. I found one of those as well. Yeah, it's a pretty decent play for the side of FX, as they are finding a lot of loot all over the place. But now the big question is who's going to be utilizing the most out of their operators here? Because look at Leviathan. They're the only team that opted to not go for that knock pick.
Yeah, that is surprising. There's hardly been a map as MW also.
Why
found
are you
1.3
saving
mil
a
there off
Nox
screen.
for space,
This is
though?
maybe one of the first times
Like,
we see
I
some
feel
knock on
like
that Nox. I don't know if
space,
they have
you
a plan for
don't.
him or just don't like him or prefer the comp that they're running right now. But
Like,
it'd be interesting to see how that pays off to be running
Like, he
Gizmo
is not
in
good on
the mix there with
space.
Shepard and Morse. But interesting stuff. Evil Genius is taking the zip line, not heeding DK's words and not getting punished for it yet, which is nice. They're going to rotate all the way around to the other side of the map and come through southeastern side into the main building potentially, or actually maybe go up to the ridge. But more reds being found again.
No,
This is
you.
an eco round, economy round. Goal is to get your money up. I will say it again though. I know these reds are nice and beautiful and pretty, and they certainly do help because supply points are great as Rapids finds some more alligator head off screen. 500,000 kills, every kill 800k. So best way to get your money up is wipe some other teams in the lobby, man. I want to see some action.
Yes, sir. But yeah, of course, for the zips, it's only the vertical zips, right? The horizontal zips, they're fine, right? And of course, the one in particular I'm referring to is the one where we see FX right now, right? That big old zip going up and down, where we saw the crazy fight happening in the tunnel. Yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody is gonna maybe get themselves caught in that same kind of setup here today. But for the time being, though, it is looking pretty good as Leviathan Widows is going to be finding our second pocket watch. Ooh, there comes the Rolexes as well. And I mean, these players currently have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah, there's no reason not to loot. I mean, these extra points, we've seen tiebreakers come down to, yeah, of course, overall squad points, but also even just the difference in supply points. Like teams will have similar kills and it'll come down to supply points. Every 2 million that you get in your total stash is worth a point. That includes the technicality you get from kills, yes, but also the loot that you find on the map. So these little moments of finding reds and pushing yourselves up to 2 million like FX has, that's an extra point, and that goes a long way. I do want to take a moment too to shout out Marino, by the way. I know he had a tough luck there breaking his legs not too long
Just
ago.
did the Easter
after
egg?
getting put to
Ooh,
1
very
HP in
nice.
practice, but Marino is actually technically not a part of the starting roster for this FX team. They have a larger roster that they kind of rotate through. I don't necessarily know that he's technically a substitute, but is somebody that didn't start at the very beginning of group stages. So to see Marino starting is great. He actually also traveled with FX to DFIW, playing on the Warfare game as well, as part of that roster and as a sub. So long history of Delta Force in both modes, and a great guy as well. So shout out to FX. Let's see what they're able to do today.
So what you're trying to say is that Marino is skilled in Delta Force, period.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
There we go. I mean, I'm excited to see what Marino could be bringing through here. Of course, that introduction on Brakesh was a little bit rough, but you know what? It's all about how you get up. Unfortunately, not having your legs broken anymore does make things considerably easier moving through the rest of this round. But now it is still going to be a predominant focus on loot. We can see 2 teams already getting a point on the board, at least with regards to with the loot. If they can actually,
I feel like Tide should be the last map. You know? I don't know. Maybe that's just the me thing.
They've been having so far. And this is now just that calm before the storm. As you can see, our first airdrop.
How are you doing today, Hip?
Getting ready to come down very soon. And of course, that mission is
Like,
currently
I get
underway.
it. Tide has the best lead.
Mission
But
underway. This is going to be
but like
likely
for the normal player, Tide is like
closest to it.
like CQB, you know?
But for now, we
I
stay
see it.
patient and
Close
pay attention to these
quarter,
other teams. They're just trying to get
CQ,
some intel where they can
CQ sabay.
and make sure they're not running into a trap, because like we say all the time with Tide Prison, the
Working on
rats are
stuff.
in.
Remember to take
Being
breaks.
ready can sometimes pay, so you need to check all these corners or throw a sonar scan up, especially while you're rotating out in the open like this.
Information is key. That is always the thing here, and let's see what is going to be
Medical
happening
items
as
are
FaZe
faster
now
than on
very, very cautious
lightsabers.
as they move
That's
through
good to know.
the tunnels.
So they just
Meanwhile,
heal
on Bruno,
faster.
it's going to be big chilling here. I think they might be hopefully trying to pick somebody up that is going to
This
be
is what
trying
they
to go
should
for
do.
that
They should
extraction,
have
because they've
like
put zero
different
effort into
balances
looting. Like,
between
15K
between
right now.
like pro play and
So it
live
doesn't seem like
serving.
they are gonna be
You know,
focusing too
Riot
heavily on
doesn't do
getting
that,
their
which is
hands
like
on the loot first. They instead
really
wait for the
like
loot
not
to make
smart.
its way
And
over
like
to them.
because the pro player balance is not going to be the
Patience is a
same
virtue here
as
on Tide Prison. We can respect that.
the average player balance. You know.
Slow creep around. So it actually looks like WKF got some C4 planted. Doing
Classic.
a little bit of looting of their own.
Our
Let's see
favorite
it. It's
squad.
gonna be Lapua ammo. So I thought it was Leviathan that had grabbed the mission.
they
down
just
below,
found
but I
an
think it was
arm.
WKF
That's
that grabbed the
crazy.
mission on the north side. So they actually are the ones that finish up the GTI supply mission, then find the arm. Great pickup there. AWM is going to be extremely valuable in the next round. I mean, you can use it this round if you're trying to just get some points on the board, but usually we would see a team like WKF use it if they have to, and if they don't, maybe take it out of bagless underwater.
Yeah, you got to play this very, very calculated. I mean, several points of value that you can find here.
Like it's so slow.
Getting the cue that the airdrops have all been deployed, as we do see the big old airdrop is going to be incoming. Where is it going to go? Ooh, this is a position that could maybe put a little bit of heat coming over for the side here of the Evil Geniuses, right? Because the airdrop is going to be landing just to their west, especially now with FX up on the hillside trying to make their way through the water. Considering that water extraction, this could be an interesting one. Let's take a look and listen in on what they're saying.
That's in library? That's in library? Oh no, that's loading. That's loading to outside. They might be coming for this airdrop. We might be able to route the shot of this. That's 100% in loading. It's literally right there.
Bro, I want to go left, but there's a fucking shark.
If you have an SKS, you can just, it doesn't matter. You don't even need to, you just spam these guys in the water.
Yeah, but I want to be left so I can, like, actually have a good angle. I guess, so.
Watch out for the sharks. I respect a little listening to the comms, though, as FaZe find quite a bit more reds, actually. Champagne as well. Another 700K, so it's a nice little mill. But yeah, that's funny comms from EG. But you know, well respected. Or I guess I suppose we've heard comms like that before, right? Like they're trying to figure out, okay, what do we do? How do we go where we want to go? Talking about maybe playing library. Do we want to actually play for this airdrop? Like, it's tough decisions. I would venture a guess that the teams aren't too worried about the airdrop. They're looking at it more as a way to play around 4 kills as an objective rather than just trying to get the loot themselves. We haven't seen a crazy amount of value from the second airdrop. It's kind of like a nice to have if you wipe a team. And so for now, they're actually mostly playing this position to hold this extract and make sure that they'll play for anybody that is either playing for the airdrop 1 or playing for the extract 2. It's a great way to get kills if you don't want to venture inside.
Well, I mean, they might be presented with that opportunity very soon, as we do see Marino is going to be down in the
And this guy's just swimming. There's no way they don't hear this guy swimming.
Surprise play coming in onto 2 of the players from the side of Evil Geniuses. Ooh, it doesn't seem to be that he's going to be looking to push in onto them directly.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, that guy got cooked. Yeah, that guy got cooked. I don't know what you that guy's doing. I'm like, what is he? Dude.
All right. Is this a little BM? I don't know what that is from Muamua, but it's trying to make sure that if anybody peeks the corner, they'll get obliterated. But spotted one out in the water. And I think mostly the firing of the bullets here is to try to draw some aggro. They want this fight. They're in a power position. They want people this direction. And with Marino down, FX now trying to figure out, do we even try to aggress over towards Mua, who's got this gigantic LMG and just bullet hosing downrange?
I mean, I think it's fair to say that Momo is just broadcasting to the entire lobby exactly where they are. You know, saying to them, you know what, if you want to fight, this is where we are. Come forward. But in the meantime, it is going to be FX and FaZe that will need to find themselves in a bit of a situation, as FaZe has been able to sneak all the way up behind the side of FX. Good deployment of the utility coming through, but unfortunately not being able to find the exact position. Tabiozo, though.
Tamiozo unfortunately goes down. FaZe barrel stuff their opponents and take them out with ease. In the meantime, we did see actually Momo go down from a distance by Socio Legend. Leviathan striking while the iron's hot on the far side, catching them unaware. Look at Socio. He's actually on the rocks here on the beach, just outside of Warden's. And he's seemingly alone. Widows is playing on the far right-hand side on this other, I guess I'll call it the kind of like buoy.
Okay, Juto. Juto. You see those mollies? Bro has a lineup for that. That is insane.
They're getting some action. Now you got to figure out how to deal with it.
And there are sharks in the water, right? But not the ones
crazy lineup.
It's going to be one that has weapons like this. Oh, look at that.
FaZe, a piece, Muo down, Loco down, gonna get the cleanup and then sell a little bit. Not really sure why we overextended there.
No.
Trying to get the full. Articuno is able to punish that push.
Yes, they killed the psych and res in the water.
Who is slowly swimming away on red. A held angle by Snows, the covering fire that they need. There's a chance Dio is able to get back to safety. But in the meantime,
you don't have a smoke.
Could see a res come through here, pending what Leviathan's able to do, and it looks like a very aggressive play from Sudoka. This is the right play. Put Articuno on his heels, make sure this res doesn't come through. You've got the player advantage, you've got a little help from the distance, and that's exactly what happens. Down goes Evil Geniuses, down goes Articuno. Finally, a map where Evil Geniuses won't be on top. Even though they stay on the top of the leaderboard, they at least don't win the map.
But I think they're pretty much okay with that, right? Because they were just looking to get those skill points to add even more pressure.
That was a very good try. I feel like they might have needed smokes. Actually, no, they're like in the water. So, I don't know.
There's not a lot of time left on the clock, though, as we have just
they do bring the Luna early, though.
Looking to go straight for
instead of the Morse.
And get their hands on
because they play for the outside, which makes sense.
Oh, Viren, okay. Here comes the knockdown. Time to move. Gonna go for it. Sprints through. Viren, very aggressive plays, and it pays off. Seabots gets one. Seabots gets two. The third on the run. Loud running for the hills after a great play with our Viren. 2 full wipes coming in. Now Loud is running away as fast as humanly possible. WKF. They had the and they didn't even have to use it. Knockdown coming through at the perfect time, and they just full swing on it. Classic.
Good to see that the tactics still holding pretty true here. W key forever though, having an opportunity to get a bit of that reset going, but it might be short-lived as we already see Leviathan knocking on the door. Ooh, Eclipse, you gotta watch out. We technically have 3 AWMs that have been found.
That's a great shot. Knocks one. Here's the push. Seabots finding the angle. In the meantime, WKF obliterating Leviathan as they go full sin. W key forever finding 2 out of 3 members of Leviathan. And some decent damage coming in from Socio, but worried about getting shot in the back as well. Is going to keep swimming to try to stay alive. Pecky makes his way to land. And we are swapping back and forth between a bunch of different perspectives, but Seabot still has 2 more shots in that AWM. Watch out. Don't overpeak. Extraction are going to get there in time. Too late, Socio. All 3 members of FaZe are going to get the heck out of Dodge. Let's extract. We did our job. We got our kills. 6 mil in profits. Great job from FaZe.
Yeah, and of course, I'm pretty sure they picked up the AWM as well, right? The one that EG had in their bags. We did see that ammo getting found, so it might lead us to believe that something happened. Ooh, Peaky though. Not a very squeaky.
No way, bro, took the zip. That's crazy. You thought you could take the zip.
There's no point really going in this direction, but up comes Socio. Just trying to find a few more points. And now with the entirety of WKF moving in this region,
Yeah.
there could be some
I
angles
don't
here for
know.
Social to try and play.
Yeah, they kind of just lost track of him in the water, and he was able to pop up and find the right timing to pick up that player in transition. Crab's going to think twice about challenging that after getting peppered. But a great job from Socio. At least, oh no, Loud, you can run and you can hide, but unfortunately, Seabots is hitting his shots today. 4 kills now for Seabots. WKF coming alive finally here in map 3 at the behest of the that they picked up on this map. They finished the mission. They get the and they've used nearly all 5 bullets of it, but they desperately needed points, so why the heck not? 2 minutes or less on the clock right now. Nobody else is getting out of this lobby. It's going to be a bloodbath, but it's a 2v1 to wrap up Tide Prison.
Well, if they time the shots perfectly, they could maybe still get that pickup over onto Leviathan, but it's going to be Socio and Seabot now. Bop, bop, bop.
Nice.
And there we have it.
No, why did we give the
5 kills for
body?
Seabots, man. Came
You could have
alive in
just,
this
you
one.
were
Helping
safe.
out his team to win these
No?
engagements by getting that first knock with the is just so deadly. It's so valuable, and I'm always one that likes to play a little bit.
I don't get it. Why would you go in the water? No?
Get it, using it for metal brick rounds can just be so much more valuable.
Like, you just go on the other side of the thing. That way when they're forced to take the Zep, alright, then,
here, but Seabots finds the last remaining member of MW, Loud, on the backside for his 4th, and then he picks up his 5th on Socio eventually there on the platform, so great job. Gonna just throw into the safe box whatever you can. Does look like WKF will unfortunately leave their on the map, which is why they were fairly intent on using the gun and its ammo. You can't put the ammo in the safe box. That is one of our rules in game. So they're going to throw whatever else they can in the safe box. I saw somebody in chat ask about dog tags, and I think it was answered. But as a quick reminder about dog tags, they start out in the first round as only 50K a piece. It's still much more valuable, of course, than pubs. But then they grow in value. By the time we're moving into Space City, they're 150K a piece. It's a lot of value per dog tag. So get your kills, loot the bodies if you can as well. WKF with a big game. And Evil Geniuses, one of the first teams to get knocked with hardly anything to show for it. Only a kill or 2 a piece. So a great job by WKF to slowly creep back up this leaderboard after a frustrating first 2 maps. They find the rhythm in Tide Prison.
Yeah, they need the rhythm. They got the flow, and now we need to see how they're going to look to implement that moving into the remainder of the day, because that is the end of eco runs right now. It is going to be just Mandelbrick. So FaZe Clan coming through with a beautiful setup here. 5 kills going their way. A decent chunk of change as well, as they do get that extraction and the AWM. So curious to see how they're going to look to utilize that moving forward from here. But yeah, overall, I'd say a very decent run coming through from the FaZe Clan.
Yeah, good job from FaZe. They pick up 5. WK Forever pick up 6. But FaZe all get out, like you mentioned, with 2 mil apiece. Means they're picking up 3 points out of that 6 mil in supply points, plus the 5 kills that they got. That's a great game of Tide Prison, and a bit more of an aggressive game than we've seen in the past as well.
Moving forward from here. But yeah, overall, I'd say a very decent run coming through from the FaZe Clan.
Yeah, good job from FaZe. They pick up 5. WK Forever pick up 6. But FaZe all get out, like you mentioned, with 2 mil apiece. Means they're picking up 3 points out of that 6 mil in supply points, plus the 5 kills that they got. That's a great game of Tide Prison, and a bit more of an aggressive game than we've seen in the past as well. These 2 groups playing against each other, something in the water. They want to fight, which I respect. But Seabot's the big winner in the kill category, picks up 5 using that Mr. Diogod not too far behind at 4. Next up is also on WKF, Pecky. It was a very one-sided Tide Prison, but a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we got to see a little bit of that one-sidedness coming through here, but either which way it was filled with action and like where it was going. Of course, a lot of damage being brought in here by Seabots, just utilizing the living goodness out of that AWM. But things looking pretty decent across the board, though. I mean, top assists also very consistent. You can see WKF being pretty dominant here. We do see Al Snows also stepping up there for the side of FaZe. So the presence is with them, but now can they look to take it the full distance? And of course, aside from the top assists, we also are going to be taking a look to see who got the most in their bag. The top assets is going to be going over to Sidoka. that was able to find that 2.2 mil right alongside the 2.1 and the straight up 2 coming through from the rest of the team.
Yeah, great job for these guys. Again, those kills are also going to net them some extra value. So a really solid, nearly double-digit map from FaZe. But WKF, they've got the MVP from the round. 5 kills with the plus a little extra, 800 nearly damage, and a decent amount of assets in the safe box. Good job from WKF to come alive in Tide Prison. But folks, Tide Prison is fun in its own way. But it's time for Mandelbrick rounds, man. We're going to Space City till we're done, or we go to Game 7. And DK, I can't be more excited to see who picks up our second Mandelbrick. Or who knows? Maybe it could be even they could pick up the second and close it out in 4. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure they're going to try this, right? We've seen it before. I want to see them pull it off this time, right? That would be very, very interesting indeed. But of course, only time will tell. While we wait, be sure to go check out all the social media links there that we do have for Delta Force, and get your hands on that website as well, as you can take a look at the esports section. They'll give you all the information about the Riot Series, both for EMEA and America. So be sure to go check it out.
Yeah,
Members now the other in their favorite 2v1. Everything getting spammed away and MT getting a little. So hang on a second, NL. Look at that. It's an absolute sweat. This. And Ozi's got him though. Here, lines him up. Even do Shaka or not. The last remaining 3 BOB. They find 2 instantly down. Not that.
My name is Eclipse, and I play Flex. I play Smokes in the early games and Recon in the late game. I first got into this game from my teammate Widows. We used to play another game together, and I saw him in a chat one day playing it, and I was watching for a little bit, and it looked like fun, so I just decided to download it and start playing it. I heard about it a long time ago from like a random YouTube video, and I played a couple games in Season 1, and I didn't really have anyone to play the game with, so I didn't really touch it again until I saw Widows playing it in a VC. I found Widows from another game. We've known each other for a long time, and we started playing this game together. We found Socio Legend just through some like friends discords, and we started playing the game with him, and then we got into the scrim cord and just started practicing and ended up staying together as a team. When we all first started playing the game, we were just playing Zero Dam like anyone else, just playing the game consistently. And then we got into the scrim server, started playing scrims. It started off all right, weren't winning too often. We had like a 10% win rate in our first season. And as we continued to play, we got better and better and ended up getting around a 30 to 40% win rate in the past couple scrim seasons. I think the achievement we're all most proud of in our team is winning the last Global League. We put in a lot of time practicing for that tournament. We were actively playing the game often. And we were really, really glad when it all came together and we won the last Global League. Our biggest chaos moment would be back in the last Global League. It was the last game of the series and I put myself in a bad spot. Kills all rolled out on me to try and get a free kill and he whiffed 15 bullets. I fried him. My teammates killed the other 2. We went on to decode the brick and wipe the rest of NL and win the whole tournament. I think an in-game moment that gets everybody in the tournament scene's blood pumping is when you're decoding a brick. You got a lot of teams contesting you on each side. Everyone's trying to go for it. And you're holding it off between 3-4 teams that are trying to push for it. And when you finally like secure that brick and wipe all the other teams, it's a really relieving feeling. My advice for anyone that's new to the game is just play it consistently, watch scrims because they get casted often or people playing and then we'll stream them. You just want to play the game consistently. And if you can get your hands on the scrims, you should get in those and start playing those and watch back your plays. It'll really help you improve as a player.
We got the Mandelbricks. Find them. Stop them. Mandelbricks operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. They're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
Not gonna do very much. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rally Series, Day 3, Week 2, Americas. It's Group B and C, and we just wrapped up Tide Prison. And take a look at WK Forever. They leapfrog up this leaderboard and find themselves in second place. You might be saying, wait a minute, they've got the most squad points. Why is that? Well, Evil Geniuses, they've got a Mandelbrick. That's our first win condition. They got it in Brackish, and then Tide Prison did not go their way. They lose a couple points. They find their way to 17. WK Forever leading the pack in second with 8. FaZe Clan with a great last map, though, do pick up 17 in total at the end of 3. DK, FaZe looking like they are playing much better than in the past. They needed these points, a big moment to keep up some momentum.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like they are looking to shift things into high gear, and that is a good kind of pacing that we have, especially seeing that we've got Space City coming in next, and it's going to be a mad dash to see if any team is going to be able to double brick themselves here today, right? That is going to be the main objective at hand, so curious to see who is going to look to get any of that going. But what we also do see is that Fluxor, they've not found themselves any kills at all today, right? They have only the 2 squad points that has come through from the supply points they've been able to secure across the first 3 rounds of the day. So Space City is going to be important for them in a different kind of way, right? They need to try and add on the aggression. They need to try and get those kill points. Heck, even if get their hands on a Mandelbrick, that'd be a bonus, but I wouldn't make that their main focus right now.
Yeah, it's a good shout. I mean, I love these guys. FX is a great team, but they are really struggling today. Something's got to give, and it's got to be right now here on Space City, folks. This is match point only for Evil Geniuses. We could play all the way up to 7 if no team's able to capture 2 bricks, but we've got a Mandelbrick on every map going forward. Of course, if we do get to map 7, could be Brackish, could be Space City, pending what the team in last chooses. But for now, it's Space City till we're done. So, round 4, Space City. What do you expect from some of these teams? What do they need to do? Well, they need to pay attention to their operator selections. We talk about meta comps. It's Space City time, which means it's Tempest time. Not every team will run a Tempest necessarily, but you're going to see every team run a Tempest on Space City. It is the most valuable operator in the game. That emergency evasion device is everything for grabbing the brick off spawn or grabbing a steal on the decoding stations. This is the most popular comp by a mile. Tempest, Stinger, Luna. You can occasionally sub in different operators that also have smokes or the abilities, healing abilities. You sometimes will see like a Toxic up here on main stage here on Space City, but in general you need smokes, and then you need a Luna to be able to see through those smokes, and then ideally a Tempest. But DK, a quick glance at those tier 1 spawns and who could get them is important, but it's time for some Space City, man. What's the most important part is who gets this next brick. So before we get into the gameplay, I do have another giveaway, folks. Redeemable code is about to pop up on your screen. There it is, 1,000 Delta tickets right here on your screen. You can redeem them as quickly as possible. You got to type it in perfectly to get it. Only 15 redemptions. Go get your 1,000 Delta tickets. 15 of you going to be the lucky 15 with the fastest fingers out here watching America's region. Type it in as fast as humanly possible. Get your redemption. Only 15. If you miss it, pay attention a little bit later. We got a couple more giveaways coming your way. This will be the final one that looks like a code, though. The others, you have to listen to my call-outs, all right? Here we go. DK, take it away. It's Space City time.
Yep, it's going to be go, go, go. And, of course, taking a look at who got our tier 1 spawns. It is going to be the side there of WK Forever that do find themselves with an early go at that West Bridge. But already the pressure being applied here from MW. I like where their heads at as they look to go straight for the aggressive play.
Oh,
to
nice
find themselves the first pickup. Can they get the wrap up? Not yet, but this opens up the floodgate for the pressure now.
MKF
Really well
getting
done from
cooked.
MW. It is the most dangerous spawn in Space City. This
Oh, it's again.
Westgate spawn is brutal, and they weren't quite able to sneak through the smoke in time. So losing one means WK Forever is down bad right now. Either do you stick around and try to win a 2v3 so you get your buddy back, or do you leave and try to play 2v3 for the rest of the game, essentially? I think stay. I think you stay and fight. You hold MW, make them push to you, play a little bit slow. Quick look at operators. We do see that everybody's running a Tempest. Yes, WK Forever also running a Tempest. Unfortunately, the player that went down was their Tempest player.
Well, WK Forever not going to be backing off of it just yet, or they might be the Tempest down.
Look
They
at
are
that.
going to try and apply the pressure. Yeah, in the meanwhile, EG, though, get their hands on the brick, and off they go to the decode. Every time EG is in the lobby, they are usually the first team
We
onto that
boars?
metal
No.
brick.
It's just that
Evil
there's no
Geniuses go
team I
quick.
could
Quick look at the
cheer
operators
for,
again,
you
of course,
know?
what they're bringing in. You can only buy gold once. You see MW, you see FaZe,
Think we're
Evil
cheering
Geniuses
for
all
Mua
running
this
here
time.
right now. They want to make sure they have an advantage to kick things off. Evil Geniuses, sometimes you see a team that already have a brick play slow in map 4. Not the case. Evil Geniuses want to close it out right here, right now. They've got Tempest and they've got full golds. They're ready to win. And so far, they're doing just that. They've got the brick. They've started the decode. And I think for the big Delta Force esports fans out there, the old heads in particular, there used to be a notification that said, hey, a team on match point is decoding. No longer, folks. If teams elect to not contest this, Evil Genius will close out this match and we'll be done in 4. Here comes the engagement, though.
Ooh. Quick hit, though, coming through onto the side there of Buldora. WK Forever, though, bringing a lot of that pressure in. Still quite a bit of a contentious angle being held over onto Westgate. But as you've seen, the rest of the lobby not really being too concerned with what's happening over on this far side. It does open up the angles for both teams, though, to try and lock it in. But WK Forever, though, they could maybe find themselves with quite a bit of a setup, especially pushing up towards the ramp, right? Where the Evil Geniuses did get the decoding underway. But a pretty good defense, though, coming through from WK Forever, right? Kind of just keeping MW from pushing in onto them. It might change very soon as they are going to look to gain entry here.
Yeah, I mean, they really can't push for this brick until they deal with MW, though. They're actually stuck right now. And they did a good job of using Tempest to go, or sorry, using
Get that
Smokes to
pick.
go,
Go. Don't let them in.
Maybe they can make a play here. MW pushing forward, and they did get the full res off Yellow Timer. A mistake from MW not to move fast enough.
No.
They've heard the res going through.
Don't way. They got the res.
And now look at this. Leviathan is going to come join the fight. You took too long, WKF. Picky goes down. You're down to a duel yet again, and that is your Tempest again going down, which means they're out of this lobby. There's nothing to stay here for. Your teammate's down, and now you're in deep trouble. MW, got to choose who they want to fight. Let Leviathan do the damage, or hopefully strike first. Take down WKF so they can actually fight a fully healthy Leviathan. Here comes Leviathan, though, finding an angle on a... This is bad. This is really bad. Loud goes down. Leviathan is doing whatever they want on the map, and Crab is also making MW being put in a blender, getting traded by Widows. This is Leviathan all day. A big win for them while WKF just fight for scraps.
Yeah, some easy pickups coming through there.
Yeah, EG locking in for the brick. They like just went straight for the brick.
See a little bit of something coming through there from Loco, but I don't expect that to happen. As you see Loco on the bridge, keeping a tight angle here. But this is just an open season play now for Leviathan to step up and just kind of have their way with that western side. Rapids, though, again, is going to be the lone survivor as he escapes.
Yeah, here's the problem. I know we love fights, and those fights are very fun. Third-party fights outside of the brick is best case scenario for Evil Geniuses. Again, nobody knows that they're the match point team decoding. Everybody just knows that they're decoding. We have 60 seconds left. Leviathan's being shot by FaZe. Everybody's chalking each other on the way to the brick. And what is left is Evil Geniuses with the free second brick, and an Evil Geniuses win if somebody doesn't do something about it. The only team that's even close now is FaZe, who's not in a fight. FaZe has got to be the heroes of match 4. But they're running out of daylight.
Yeah. And FX is all the way on that far southern side, right? They've been waiting over towards that far edge to see if anybody's going to dare venture up through that, but only now they start to move on forward. FaZe, though, getting closer and closer, but again, not fully committing to pushing and contesting this mandal break. So this could very well be a free pickup coming in. We do see Mr. Diogod getting ready for some business as he is going to start to move up, but Loco going to send it out
And
as
making
well.
nummies. Enjoy. Even at 2 the drum Easter egg. Very nice.
Too late. Everybody took too long. They're fighting outside the brick. They didn't know that Evil Genius
Yeah.
had just won the match. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
at least here in America is the first.
that's what I'm saying.
Series in the Delta Force
Like,
Rise
the
series.
game is actually
Done
over.
and dusted. Evil Geniuses feeling confident, full swing on FaZe, who came in too late to the
That
function
is
and
I
getting
without
obliterated
the
by an
match
Evil
point
Genius team who's already won the
notification.
lobby. They're just
That
getting killed for the
is so
X-Pass.
like, like it
Goodness,
feels
what a
so
wild
strange.
turn of events.
You know?
Nobody can test the brick because they're all fighting each other. And now everybody else is just looking for whatever cash they can find. Placement matters here, DK, for everybody else. Who's going to get second is going to come down to squad points.
Yep, and this is your time to double
Like,
down.
that is actually insane that it's already over here.
They need to
Hello, how are
They
you?
need to get involved in the fights because pretty soon there's not going to be a lot of opposition left for them to contest against. Pildora, though, going to be falling to the wayside there as we do see MW getting swept up and put away. Down to the final 4 we go. And yeah, again, FX, I think this was a missed opportunity for them, especially in this round, right? Just focusing so heavily on that far southern side. They missed all the fights.
No, that was insane. There's no way you can tell me that's like what it should be, you know?
They've won every match they've played, and he had such an iconic quote that we have quoting because it's so dang important, and it keeps rearing its ugly head in these matches. You've got to take the game into your own hands. WKF getting cut down here. Evil Genius is just having their way with the map. You can't rely on the other teams to play the map for you. You can't rely on the other teams to stop the break.
Yeah, so you should have the notification, you know? Like, having a 4-turn game is like so... Like, imagine you're in your finals, right? And it's literally no one's moving, you know? And that's it.
Get to dictate the results.
Like, both days,
Day of week 2.
you just put the brick in and that's it.
I mean, some good plays coming through here, but of course...
Hello, Acid, how are you? Thank you for the follow.
That's
I
exactly
haven't
what
been
happened
hacked
with
yet.
SSG yesterday as well on their first mantle break, right? They got a
Like,
free
that
code because
is...
everybody else was
That is
focusing on
crazy.
each other.
That... you don't have any notification.
That mantle break, so I would really hope to see that
Like,
we
no
have a
one is
bit of a
in
focus
position at all,
shift
you
coming
know?
through from the teams.
I think having that notification is important.
As we know, it's what wraps up the day quick and fast. And talking about wrap-ups, Sosho getting hit with a nasty one there.
Yeah, he had a really good angle actually on Muo, but Articuno made a strong play over the top side. They weren't expecting him on here. And because he had this angle, was just able to rain, yes, covering fire for his team. Muo's back on his feet after popping Tempestol, but now all 3 up. And Leviathan down to a solo as well. Evil Geniuses may wipe this entire lobby after getting their second brick. I mean, this is the most one-sided match we've seen thus far, regardless of who's been in it. Leviathan looking for their kill points, though. These are all important. And unfortunately, an overpeak. Marino striking while the iron's hot and finding a nice kill. They're first, by the way. FX finally getting some points on the board. I don't know if it's going to be enough to take down any of the other teams in the lobby. You can see total score on the left. They're still 4 points behind MW.
I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to the kind of tactic that the teams move in here with, right? Are they coming in with a sole focus on aggression, or are they going to look to try and win the day? It does seem like each approach was to win the
that
day.
is...
FX, though, and the rest of the lobby,
That
seems
is
like they might
kind of
have had a
crazy.
little bit of a different approach here to try and score points through predominantly focusing on getting those kills in. I mean, for FX, though, not a bad run. Damiozo was able to get 1 in. We've not seen much come through for Marino just yet. But there could be a few up for grabs here. Loco, though, ooh, on the money with the response. And that is going to be
that spray. That spray is unlucky. Yeah, that's GG.
It's actually shameless though. We get free brick. That is insane.
Yeah, it's actually shameless.
I mean, that's just what kills all.
Look at the lobby,
Kills all. Yeah, good shit. Just run
Yeah, it is. Because freaking and no one knows his match point. It could have been literally any of the other 6 teams that grab the brick, but no team grabbed the brick, so that they just automatically win. Because they don't know who grabbed the brick. Nah, that's they gotta change that back. I'm actually molding. Like, for pro play format, like, I understand, like, it's harder to decode, but now it's too easy, you know? Like, they actually didn't fight anyone. No one contested the brick. Because they just assumed it was a different team. You know, like, there's 6 teams, right? Surely it's not the only team that's grabbing the brick, you know?
Yeah, I'll just come. I don't even know where the bodies are.
A hilarious listen in there right after the end of a game that, as they said so bluntly, a free brick. That's exactly what it was. And they were just laughing and talking.
Yeah, because they don't know. It is a free brick because no one's here.
DK highlighted it at the top of the show. We've got group stage standings where you get first place and you get both bricks, which is exactly what Evil Geniuses did today. They pick up 10 points. Can I remind you, Evil Geniuses, going into this competition, we're at 4th. They pick up 10. That'll put them to 21 total points from 11 to 21. That'll put them in 2nd place overall in our group stage standings at the end of week 2, halfway through our group stage. This is a big moment for them. And the rest
no, it's not even an action issue. It's that there's 6 teams, right? First person's decoding. You have no idea that that is the last team, right? And then like match point should be like, you know, like very exciting, but they just don't know. So then we just don't do anything, you know? Like if they told, like if it was like, oh, this is the team that's decoding right now, then everyone should be pushing the brick, you know? That's like the entire point. Like they literally just AFK'd there and cut the break.
They had the best team, no question about it. Picked up 7 kills on the map.
No, even if you count teams of bodies, if you're the first team to put in the brick, right? There's no bodies. There's no team. All teams are still alive, right? So they're just assuming like if you're just a random team at dorms or something, right? You're just gonna assume, oh, it's a different team that's trying to get the brick, right? You don't know that's the match point team, so you just gonna be like, oh, the match point team's gonna challenge the brick, but no one is there, right? No one's in position, and then no one gets the brick.
For their group stage rankings, this is the most dominant performance we've seen thus far, and it's at the back of a guy like this.
Like, it's like actually like a Thor attitude.
Finding nice flanks, finding high ground positions on some interesting fights, but also just making the call. Let's get to the break and immediately.
I'm molding.
Gold on round 4. Let's go for the win, and they secure it. Most damage, most kills.
And I need to change that for finals. Because imagine they just get a free break for finals. No fight. That one I would be very upset.
Outside of the brick, because that's who they're running into first.
Yeah, I mean, a good return on investment coming through from the teams.
No, it should just literally be here. It should literally just be here.
Yeah, I think Leviathan, they played a phenomenal position coming in and applying.
You think they know if a team that is decoding has one break? No, they don't. They don't know. They used to, but then they removed it. But now, so like when someone's decoding, they don't know which team is decoding. Right? So no team is in position because they assume it's not the team that's on match point. Which is really stupid. Yeah, they removed it. Which is like, now it's like, okay, they just got a free brick. Like they didn't fight a single team. And they just got a free brick. Right? Because every other team assumed it wasn't them. Right? That's the only reason. If they knew it was them, at the very minimum, the bottom 2 teams have to fight for this brick, right? Because they need the space. Because there's 6 teams, right? When the brick puts in, when the brick, yeah, but then you're more likely to get like shot from 5 different angles. Like you see how they play, right? Usually the team that puts it in first first, right? And then if every team is there, they're not the team that survives defending the brick, right? Like I don't think the one time people have been there, all 16s have been on the brick, it's never the team that is on that like put the brick in.
Enter exclamation point giveaway in the chat. If you're watching on X, just repost the live stream. Now we'll announce the winners in chat on Twitch.
You should deny any team. You don't have enough utility to deny every team. Like if the logic is to deny any team, right? Like it's better for the other teams to fight. That is the strategy, you know?
All over the place here with Delta Force. It's been a
there's no way you'd be able to check it them because there's teams between you and the brick, right? Like there's literally, like you saw, everyone was still on the outside when only one team was playing inner when they put the brick in, right? Because they were being held down by the other team.
We'd love to speak to the one that doesn't want to speak to us, right? That's just
right. Like if
that's the way it goes. Like, oh, you don't want to speak? No, well, we'll ask you all the difficult questions, right? But I think overall, Evil Geniuses, they were presented with a great opportunity, right? I mean, was this handed to them? No, because they still played a very
I know they definitely do care about the brick, but you can't. They don't know it's the last team, right? You can't always be in the position to challenge the brick, right? Like you saw yesterday, Team Liquid on Brackash, they looted the entirety of Babel. The bricks changed hands 4 times, right? Like if they knew it was the final team, right, they would have hard pushed a lot faster.
Want to be here, but we gotta bring him in because this guy is deadly on the map. Loco, first of all, congratulations, my friend. Sorry we had to force you in here, but I got a couple questions for you because how the heck does it feel to go perfect, man? A 4-round win, a free brick. What was going through you guys' heads as you finished up round 4 and we're like, oh, I guess we won?
We're swapping to the video game. Oh. Am I lagging? I don't think so. I can't tell. But yeah, I'm just molding because like you have 6 and you should get a notification. And you shouldn't see which team, but you should get a notification that it's a match point team. Right? Like imagine in League of Legends terms, basically imagine what happened is you never challenge any objective because you never have vision on it, right? That's basically what's happening, right? You know they're not in lane, right? But they could be at base, right? And your team just chooses not to ward, right? And then they just do Baron and all that.
I'll show them pain. Do as I say.
Oh. Yeah. Don't get it though? That would be considered teaming? It's the nearest team possible for challenging. What is wrong? any Mandal should be challenged? I don't think so, because you're not in a position to fight 5 teams. You know what I mean? Like, if you are the team that puts in the brick, and 6 teams show up, the chances that you win against all teams is so low, right? But if you show up last, right, then your chances are higher, right? Like if you like in that last game right there, right? No one was in a position to challenge, right? Like in that last game, right? There was 2 teams at dorms, right? A team in CC and a team like in Printing, right? And 2 teams in the middle, right? So basically there was only 1 team that was in position to fight for the brick. Every other team was on the outer edges because they were being held down by another team. Right? So 4 out of the 6 teams were held on the outside, right? But if they were, like, if they had the notification that, okay, this is the match point team, right? Sounds like they actually need to move, but they're being held by another team. You saw, one team, WKF, tried to push in from dorms to challenge the break, and they just got sniped from dorms, right? And then now they're a player down, and they can't challenge the brick anymore. Right? Why do you go challenge a full team after another team knocks their teammate, and then you just ignore them? It doesn't make sense to me. Right? Like, I feel like if you had the notification that you're the last team and you still put the brick in and you win, that's like so much like better, you know? The ones that could have, should have, no one was in a position. And like, I'm telling you, 4 of the 6 teams could not challenge the brick. Only 1 team could challenge the brick, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like if no one was holding, right? Then I guess everyone would be in the middle already, right? But a team is literally holding on the outside, right? They get pitched trying to go through Westgate, right? And then another team is holding from CC, so the printing team can't challenge the break, right? So then 4 teams are effectively stuck on the outside of the map. So then only the 1 team that got the T1 spawn can challenge the break. I can't check, my PC is dying. I'll have to check another day. I tried to log in, but... It should be a one-time notification. I feel like you're just rage baiting me. Cause like there's no way that you think that in a pro match, right, that you should just be able to get free mantle breaks. That actually does not make any sense to me. As I sang in League of Legends, right, you just have a team that just never challenges any objective, right? That's basically what they're doing. They have no vision on Dragons and Baron, and the other team just gets it for free. They know who is game point. They don't know who is game point. They don't know who's putting in the brick, right? Game point, the brick spawns in game 2. You can't challenge. Like if you are spawning at Westgate, right? and you know that Evil Geniuses is on game point, right? Then that means that for the next 3 rounds, you're gonna have to throw yourself at the brick, no matter what, right? But that also means there's 4 other teams holding you while you're throwing yourself at the brick. Yes, but you can't control your spawn, is the point. Spawn matters for whether or not you can have prio on the brick. That's why they have T1 to T3 spawns. T1 spawns are the best spawns on the map, right? Which are the closest to the mantle brick, right? So you want a T1 spawn on a mantle brick round, right? Like you can't get like if you spawn like on Space City, right? And you get a printing spawn, right? You are T3 spawn. There is no way, in no world, would you be able to full clear a team in CC, and then a team in core, and then another team on the brick. You have to clear 3 teams in less than 5 minutes. It's just not possible, you know? Like, and then you have to do that again the next game, right? Like, you don't get that option. Right? But if the game told you that, okay, this is a team that is on game point, right? Then all 6 teams will be fighting in the middle. No, that's only for 1 round. That's only for 1 round. After game 4, 2 teams will have the mantle brick. Right? So it's not 5 teams versus 1. It's until everyone evens out. Right? Like, if you are match point, it should be harder to get the last mantle break than it is to just the AFK a mantle brick. You know what I mean? And like you can put the brick in and then multiple teams challenge the brick, right? And then they fight themselves at the brick. The point is to get everyone into the middle, you know? Like is literally the example I gave you. It's like if you are playing League of Legends and you have no vision on Baron, right? And they just do Baron every time for free, right? And your team is all fighting one like splitting on the bottom side of the map, right? Like you, if you had vision on Baron, right, and you see them starting Baron, you are sending your entire team to Baron, right? But the point is that they can't see, they don't know, right? You can't throw every team at because not every team gets a T1 spawn. Yeah, but you don't get that choice because you're not a T1 spawn. That's okay, never mind. I don't think you get what I'm saying. That's literally what's happening. They're getting a brick uncontested. It's like getting Baron with no vision. Okay, you're just not contested. That's literally the same thing. They know the objective is up, right? But they don't know they're on it, you know? Like, you cannot expect a team with a T3 spawn to wipe 4 teams that are sitting and holding. Like, there's no way you have that option. You need the other teams to also push in from that info that this is a match point team. Because even if you challenge a team, that fight might take 3 minutes. Right? If the fight takes 3 minutes, then you only have 2 minutes to fight 3 more teams and get the brick. Nvidia's killing my GPU right now. Yeah, it's fine if they remove it. But like, if they're gonna have it, you can't have, like, imagine you're doing finals, right? And no one contests the brick, right? That'd be the most disappointing finals anyways. That'd be 5v1 anyways? No, because they didn't challenge. Like today. They didn't challenge because none of the teams, 4 out of the 6 teams were out of position to challenge. Only 1 team had the correct spawn and was able to challenge. It's like when I'm running solo for D-Wolf, right? If you get a printing spawn, you basically automatically die. You don't get the choice. I can't wipe 5 teams by myself when I'm solo D-Wolf, right? But if I get a bridge spawn, if I get a Westgate spawn, these are T1 spawns that I have priority into the middle. That's not on the player, it's that I just got a bad spawn. What do you mean it's not the same? It's not their choice. You can choose to have a 700k bison. You can't choose your spawn. Like, if Evil Geniuses was on the outer edge, right? And 2 different teams were in the middle, they also would not be able to challenge that brick. Right? Because no team can wipe 3 teams and still get the brick in time. Like, if they got a printing spawn, right, they would have to wipe CC, and then a core team, and then the brick team. All within 5 minutes. Why wouldn't the other spawn as close as go? Because they're holding the other team. They're holding the mantle brick team because they don't need the mantle brick this round. Like, maybe they specifically choose not to bring a Tempest this round because they want to play for game 6. Game 5 and game 6 instead of game 4 and game 5. So they choose to hold and play for kills. That's what they did literally on Friday. On Friday, a team had got the Brikesh brick and they didn't challenge game 5. Game 4? Game 4. They didn't challenge game 4 because they already had a brick, right? So they let everyone else fight and they play for kills. And then they challenged before the brick when no one else had a Tempest. It says like you need Mandel every round. You can't have Mandel on budget rounds. Like imagine that you have a Mandel break on easy, you know? That doesn't make any sense because then the game would be over by game 2, right? Like I think Mandel should be a one-time win condition on game 7. It shouldn't be like a 5-map thing. It should be whoever gets the Mandel brick wins in game 7. That's the match point winning thing, right? Every games 1 to 6 should be kill based points, and then game 7 should be a Mandel brick challenge, right? So there's no Mandel brick game 1 to 6, and in the very last game is Mandel brick challenge, and so then every team knows they're all a match point technically, right? And then everyone will fight for the brick. If you're going for no notification, right? If you don't want a notification, then that means everyone needs to be on match point. Alright, so that every team is willing to fight for that brick. Right now the teams are willing to fight for the brick because there's more rounds, right? And it's literally just spawn dependent, whether or not you get a T1 or T3 spawn. But if you are in the last round, right? This is game 7, right? And this is the only map with the brick, then everyone will challenge the brick no matter what, right? Because this is the last round, right? You need to make something happen, right? Every team should? Why should you assume? Because you can't hold the brick against 5 teams, right? If every team is challenging the brick, you have to fight off 1v5 regardless, right? It makes more sense to 1v5 when you are the match point team than 1v5 when you are the blast team with 0 kills. Yeah, so then if notifications shouldn't be a thing, then Mandelbrot should only be in the final round and everyone is on match point. Like, it is its own win condition. It's like if you hit, it's like an OTK type of situation, right? If no one gets the brick, then it's worth, then it's based on the point system from games 1 to 6, right? If someone gets the brick, even if they were in last place, right? Then they can still win, you know? I think that should be the format. That would be the ideal format. No notification. Game 1 to 6, no Mandel brick. Game 7 is the only round with the Mandel brick. Right? I think that would be my ideal situation. Right? But if they decide to keep doing this two Mandel brick match point thing, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, at all. And like, format-wise. Cause no team is going to challenge if it's not worth it, right? And the only way to make it worth it is if it is, like a one-time win condition, or it's like notified that they automatically lose if they don't get this brick, you know? Those are the only 2 ways that a team in 8th would challenge the brick, right? Otherwise, they would just let a different team take it. Yes, but it's not worth dying, right? Like, it's worth to take the brick, But you can't kill 15 teams. Like, there was a team yesterday that was trying to get that was trying to hold the break. They were the ones that put it in, right? They got challenged by 3 different teams, 4 different angles, and they just died because there's so much Yuto, right? You can't dodge everything when you're the one defending the break against 3 teams with 3 times the number of Yuto, you know? So yeah, I think it should be a game 7 thing after a discussion. I think it should just be a one-time thing. Because if you're notified, whether or not you're notified, right, one team will have to fight against 5 teams, or no team challenges you, right? Like, I feel like, yeah, the bricks should be like a one-time win condition. Like, make it a rarity thing, because if you have so many bricks, right, like, no one's going to think, like, it lowers the value of the brick, and teams are less likely to challenge it, you know? Like, if you are a last place team, you are probably not going to challenge it. Why wouldn't you challenge it if it has that much value and you have nothing to lose? As you could kill another team and get like second, you know? If no team has the brick, right? If you get 7, like literally what WKF did, right? Like if you don't challenge the brick and you just rat everyone, right? You can go from last place to first place, right? That's literally what they did. Right? It's because there's not enough bricks, right? Because there's a brick system right now. When it should be a point system, and then the final round should be the only round with a brick, right? So that it's all focused on purely fighting, and then yeah, it should be all focused on purely fighting, and then at the very, because if you're in last place, right? If you're in 6th, right? The 5th team, the team in 5th doesn't have a brick either, or the team in 4th, or the team in 3rd, right? So if you get more points, more kill points than them, right? You can still get 3rd, right? From 6th. So that's why the 8th team plays a lot slower, right? Because they're not planning to play for bricks. They're planning to play for the kill, because it's easier to get kill points than to get a brick point. As last place. No, you still win money, right? Like if you are not like a major organization, you're just happy to be here, right? I don't know, like a different, like a smaller organization, like a brand new organization, right? You're not planning to challenge something like Evil Geniuses or Team Liquid, right? You're just trying to get some prize money, right? Like you would be happy with 3rd or 4th, right? So then that's how you challenge, right? You're challenging based off of points. Nightmare, I feel like it's a new team, but it's also like it got a lot of like, cause Mendo is a part of developing Nightmare, I think. I don't remember. But I know Farmer Lucas they got developing it as well, so like I would say Nightmare is probably one of the bigger, newer teams, but like if you're talking about like BTH or something, right? Like they are not planning to get first place, right? So their goal is to just get as many kills and points as they can. instead of challenging the brick. Because they lose like 9 times out of 10 against like Muo or something. So like it's like a different objective, right? Whereas I feel like yeah, it should be game 7 brick. And then game 1 to 6 should just be just points, right? Because having 2 bricks is really rough. I don't know. But then it's like there's no reason to play Tempest, right? So then you run into that problem. And then everyone's just ratting each other. Waiting to 3rd, 4th, 5th party type of thing. So, I don't know. They have to think about something to do. Instead of maybe a mana brick, it should be like, this thing gives more points, and then the mana brick is like a win-all condition. So like maybe they have like a red mana brick, right? Which doesn't count as a mana brick point, but it counts as like 5 points or something for the point system, right? So it still has value, but it's not as much as the win-all one at the very end. I think that would make a lot more sense. Hello, D-Dod. How are you? I might didn't play today. I'm playing next week. CPU or GPU? I think my GPU is dying. I'm gonna have a look at it. But yeah, today's a short stream because they were able to close it in Gamefly. My AI script for what? You have a 5070? No, I have a 4060 Ti. I wish I had a 5070. Even if I had a 5070, I'd have to upgrade my CPU as well. For Pokemon, I'm not running it right now. It runs at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. It takes 8 hours of scraping, and then like 2 hours for analysis. Alright, we're gonna call it short stream. We're gonna play more tomorrow. Tomorrow we're at the playing. But yes, thank you friends for coming. I probably won't raid today. I'm probably just gonna end. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna end today. Imagine not playing. I can't. My computer is kabooming. That is not my fault. Hashtag blame Winnie. Okay, bye.